Might need to cut some time from some of the other community games when Spirit isn't around. Anyway, that's enough pizza conversation. Let's talk about Ghost Lake. This is game 4 of T90 series, a 1v1 no wall mod set. In the blue is Fire playing as the Aztecs, which is as if he beat last time as Mayans. And we have Magyars for Stark in the red.
Interesting. I mean, Magyar is good civ. If you find all the extra sheep, that'd be really good.
You know what you normally see on Ghost Lake is a bunch of walls along the front. It is not going to be easy for either player to do this. Look at the gold position for Fire, for example, Dave. Oof, that's going to suck. He can't even house wall off easily.
That's so rough. Even his second gold is in like... like that's so rough, man. What kind of gold generation is that?
I don't know.
That's disgusting.
He's going to have to deal with it now, though, because he has used all his restarts for the game, or for the best of 7, so... Tough no.
Maybe the game... I don't know. Maybe the game... also, take a shot. Whoever's drinking for white things, take a shot. The game knew that there was no wall, and it's actually trying to, like, wall for Fire with the gold?
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Looks like it.
What's up with this one Boab? How do you... Look to the right of Fire's gold. What's up with
Baobab?
Baobab. Yeah,
That's
what's
really
up with the
random.
random Baobab tree? It doesn't make any sense. It's in the snow.
On Ghost Lake.
It's an African tree. Sorted out.
That's like... That's a pretty spooky looking tree there.
I want this tree to come into play at some point in this game today. I just want something to happen with it. Just because.
I think with the Baobabs, like, if you attack them with the Siege Onager, do they not die? Attacking them?
No, they should die. I think you're thinking about the ones that were in scenarios in the past, right?
Like Tree F and stuff. Oh, by the way, Fire's slaming the boar from...
okay, good. Good, we weren't focusing on the tree and we saw the lame. A Fire is stealing this boar from Stark. Stark is going to have to deal with that. Now, one thing I'll say is on Ghost Lake, there are random, not piles, but groups of sheep on the ice.
Tons of sheep.
He could try and find them to make up for that loss. But that's also something Fire could do after this lame. Just scampered across the ice.
I feel like it's really weird that Stark is exploring his own base and not going out. Usually on Ghost Lake, you want to, like, explore really close to your TC and then go out on the ice to get all those sheep.
It's a bit odd. But then again, they've been house walling a lot, so maybe he feels like he needs to scout the gaps. That way he can protect himself.
Yeah, but you can come back and do that later, you know?
Dude, I think the reason he's scouting is he doesn't know that boar's lost. Otherwise, he wouldn't have this villager down here in the south.
I'm pretty sure he saw the boar, like, he was pretty close to it. Maybe he doesn't, though, maybe. Maybe he doesn't know.
I was just going to ask you if you saw it, and I'm pretty sure now that
they were pretty close to each other at one point. So if he didn't see that, that's super unlucky. Like, really unlucky.
Okay. Well... He's going to lure in the deer, and luring in 3 deer will make up for the boar loss, so I think he'll be okay. So let's talk about
who left the relic on the ice? That's not a proper place for a holy item, I'm sorry.
It was an old man. I don't know how there's no old man, and yet there's the relic. I feel like if the ice melted at some point, the relic would have gone down with him, but I don't know.
Anyway, civs.
I think Magyars can work because they have a very strong scout rush. Also, this map isn't too bad for Stark in comparison. He has a gold in the back corner. If he needs it, 2 of them can be house walled in. And then he can build his barracks and his stable out in front of his gold on the snow. But I think it's doable for Stark, provided his economy is able to rebound after the boar loss. And then you look at Fire. Fire... I don't know, I still like the Eagle Warriors, but I don't know if I like them on a Ghost Lake type map, because normally you're going with one small army, you're counter-attacking and trying to do eco damage, and then you're booming at home, and maybe Aztecs isn't the best to do damage in that situation. What are your thoughts?
I feel like this is really bad for Stark.
Okay.
He didn't find any of the extra sheep, and Fire found a lot. Like, just look at his... That's his...
Oh, jeez.
Is that his 3rd boar coming in now? And that he's got all those sheep, too?
3rd boar, all those sheep. Certainly a better start for Fire.
Like, I think with the Magyars on Ghost Lake, you want to get as many extra sheep as you can, and then you produce extra scouts, right?
Yep.
And they do decently against the Eagles because they have the extra... Is it the forging, right? They get?
Yes.
In Feudal Age?
Yep.
So, I mean, they're dealing really good damage against the Eagles and against any villagers and whatnot, but he just doesn't have the extra food to capitalize. He's pushed in 3 deers, so that's decent.
I think that his uptime is fine here. I mean, if you look at the difference, there's a 26-second difference about the time it took Fire to create that extra bill. Fire is going man-at-arms though, and like you said, as the feudal age goes on, Fire's not going to need to build farms, he can just go to the sheep. But at least Stark was able to deal with it, build the 2 farms, get to deer. This is actually kind of standard for Stark to have 1 sheep underneath his TC at this point, so I think he's done a good job. But it's just that Fire's in a better position because of the sheep. Stark is going to see these villagers walling in front of the gold. And he's going to see that his opponent is going man-at-arms now. Wolfpack says, cheers for not modding the snow away less than 3. It was actually a mistake, Wolfpack. But thank you for the $5, man. And
I like this snow.
The Pappy, thank you for the Prime sub. I think this snow has its place. Yep. Especially in January. I think it fits today.
Yep. Also, it's really white, so take a shot, whoever... You guy's gonna die, man. Okay, stable coming down. Big surprise from Stark. 4 villagers on it, though. He really wants that down.
I think he's completely fine. His berries are safe. Look how he's positioned his villagers on the right side.
The lumber camp.
Lumber camp
is hilarious, too.
Yeah,
that's
you mean
really
how
smart.
He built the one on the left-hand side? Yeah, exactly.
Really smart.
He's trapping all of his villagers in nicely, and man-at-arms won't be able to do anything. Meanwhile, he's going to have the extra attack on his scouts. He's going to have mobility. And then maybe, just maybe, he can get across and through the walls that Fire's trying to place with his houses and kill some villagers.
So, if you're Fire, once you explore this base, you just go kill the stable, right? That's your solution here? You just go kill the stable.
It's actually a really good thought. I think, well, on one hand, you want to force repairs. On the other hand, you want to force a fight, right? So he could decide to just attack these houses and then hope that his opponent would repair it. But in this situation, yeah, maybe you just attack the stable.
Because, like, if you're on the stable, you can deny him going out to the gold for the time being. The only thing is, I think Stark might opt to, instead of going for... No, he's going for a counterattack. Okay, so you just kill the stable.
I feel like it was almost a little bit too late if you wanted to do that. Like, his spear, had his spear been here, he would have been completely fine and he could have killed this a lot earlier, and now he's kind of getting distracted by these scouts from Stark.
And second barracks coming down already from Fire. He hasn't even, he's just placing his first farm because of those sheep.
Yeah. Though sometimes that can kind of hurt you, because if you don't place the farms early enough, you're eventually going to find that you're out of food. And you need to add the farms.
I think Stark is good enough
now.
that... yeah, I think he's better than us.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
So...
this is forcing a repair out of this villager. And meanwhile, at home, Fire has 2 spears and Fire has an Eagle Scout. Trying to quick wall this annoying gold and somewhat successful, but he needs to be very careful as the scouts work their way in. Vills can drop so fast.
They have forging. Good quick walls. Great quick walls.
He's
Fire's
really
right on
houses,
top of this, man. Yeah.
All serious. Hey,
Archer range coming down from Stark.
The pineapple is a sin. Donated $5. It said straw poll for pineapple pizza. This is important. I will get to that after the game, my friends. I can't tell.
Villagers go down so fast here. It's hard to tell when they're gonna die.
It's tough because they're behind the mill, so you can't tell. And I would say that's probably a better engagement for Fire, seeing as he weakened these scouts. Fire's been attacking the stable and forcing repairs. They didn't take any big losses there, so well played so far from Fire.
I mean, the repair is taking up a surprising amount of wood and idle time here. Like, he's only been able to drop 1 archer range, and like his wood keeps dropping down to near 0.
I would estimate that was probably more wood than it took him to build this stable initially. If he's been repairing it this entire time, it's very expensive stuff.
So that was the correct play then, I think.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's something Stark saw coming, because he walled his whole base and he basically forced Fire into doing that. So good on Fire for identifying that.
If he expected that, he could have built the stable elsewhere too. It didn't have to be so far out. So you're right. Good point.
A lot of scouts for him now, though. He can engage. He can actually think about engaging Fire's army as soon as he has a few more skirmishers to deal with the spears. Like, with forging, the scouts just become so much more dangerous.
Yeah, they're real... It can be deceiving at times because you think they're stronger scouts, but then you fight spears, and the spears do just as much damage because you don't have defense upgrades. Yeah. So now you see Fires getting defense upgrades. I think if Stark's going to take an engagement, and it's risky to do so, he needs to make it count, man, because that's a lot of Eagle Warriors for Fire, a lot of momentum for Fire, and this is the build that people are doing now that's so tough to stop.
Dark. Fire's got to be careful he doesn't have a single hole in these walls.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't look like there is one.
Because you can't build the palisade walls, you can't check for the holes with the palisade walls. So you would have to check with outposts or something.
I don't think there is one in there. He's gonna kill the barracks? Yeah, the scouts are doing decent damage against barracks, but like that huge army is in on him now.
Yeah.
And like walling up his gold now, that's the correct play.
House. I think he's gonna get it. Oh my gosh, that was close. Honestly, these eagles could commit to the woodline. Stark needs to... Oh, no wall mod, just house wall everything.
39 HP only on that one, 39 HP!
Oh! No! I can't believe that. I thought for sure that was full walled. Well played from Fire to be aggressive, forcing the army back from Stark. Stark is on the way to Castle Age. But that is not what he needed. He wants to go for knights in the next stage, most likely. And now he's lost his gold.
He gets Iron Casting right away in the next stage, right?
Yep.
Magyars, so there's a consideration for him to wait and then maybe try and fight this.
Yeah,
but he only has two.
Castle.
Like he only has one stable and one archer range, you know? Like he doesn't even have.
He doesn't have gold, man.
Anything.
The thing I'll say about the house walling is it really hurts your economy. Because if he did not build all these houses, and he just had regular walls, he would have had so much more wood in the bank. He could build a market, he could build a second mining camp, he could have built more farms. And the same goes for Fire, of course, except Fire was able to pretty much complete his walls now. So, I think it all goes back to the early game map control Fire got to allow himself to do that.
Yeah, true. And like, it was just, Stark was a bit slow with the scouts, right?
Yeah.
And Fire was really quick. Also, like, 2K, things 2K5s do, or 2K4s do, you see the eagle on the left side of Stark's base near that secondary gold? Fire's just left it there. It's got the armor upgrades, so it's going to be able to tank any villagers that comes out, or that come out. Very, very smart.
Someone saying, why no bloodlines still? Well, Stark doesn't have the resources for it. He only has 77 gold, 260 food. There's been a lot of idle time because he ran into the TC, got a house destroyed. So... it's going to be tough. Like, I want him to go 2 stable. I get that move. Go 2 stable knights. You need to do that. But what can you create when you don't have the gold? Not too much.
It's a pause for me. Is there a pause for you as well?
Yeah, there's a pause for me.
Okay.
So to those asking about the Spirit of the Law challenge or the Spirit of the Law community games, we will get Spirit on after this series. I may mix around my schedule a little bit because of how things have gone today. We will see, but I will keep you guys updated as the day goes on. Now the scouts are engaging, Dave. What do you think about this?
Not a terrible engagement if he takes out the spearmen.
I kind of like it.
I mean, he's not gonna upgrade them, right? Like there wasn't enough there to get light cav. He's gonna go knights. So like he's getting bloodlines right now. He could actually do some decent damage to this army before it heads back to Fire's base.
Yeah, I think he can fight this now. I mean, got that he would win the fight, but just trade as much as you can versus the units
3+4 scouts.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Doesn't have bloodlines yet. I probably should have waited for bloodlines, to be honest.
Yeah, it's true.
Probably should have waited for those bloodlines, bruh.
But still, what I'm looking at is 2 Eagle Warriors alive for Fire on the front now, when he had a lot more. And some of these might not make it back. So while at home, he's creating more, he doesn't have a lot of them, and that's exactly what Stark would want. Because Eagles, they generally out-pop Knights, and that's why they win those fights. But if they're not out-popping the Knights, then the Knights have a chance. Pretty nice fight from Stark, taking the score lead for a moment there.
It's got to be, for Eagles to win against Knights, it's got to be like 1.5 times. You have to have 50% more army, I think, for them to win.
What's the attack rate? I think Eagles attack faster, right? I don't know how that would apply to
even with the
fights,
bonus, it's not like the attack and the HP upgrade or difference between them is just so much, right?
Yep. Well, 2 TCs for Fire. His nicely walled base. He's actually going to add a third. So
That's
again,
smart.
You know, this is kind of typical stuff from Ghost Lake. It's no wall mod, but you're able to house wall a bit. But I do like the fact that, I mean, you can't stop top players from walling. You just can't. They're not going to play the game. I like the fact that it's still played a pretty big part, this no wall mod, in the early game here. Can you show scouting info? Sure, I can do that for you. This is what Fire can see. Fire scouted the golds, like Dave said, but the villagers didn't go there just yet. And this is what Stark can see. So pretty similar stuff with the scouting. And also Stark sees this eagle now, so we'll probably clean that up.
Stark's getting a bit greedy here. He's not producing Knights.
Dude, if there's one thing I know about Stark is he can boom under pressure, man. Like,
he is the greed master.
Yeah, he opts towards greed more than most top players. A lot of top players would say, no, I need to get more map control, I need to get more units out on the field. But now Stark's just like, come at me, I'm gonna boom up and then I'm gonna push you back later. And he already has 3 more vills.
I mean, that's the beautiful thing about like the top 10, top 20 is they all have their quirks, you know?
Yeah.
Like you look at Leary, he's perfect in every meta. So that's his thing, right?
Yep.
Viper has adaptability and perfectness in the meta. Stark is like boom under pressure, you know? Tim is like map control and retardedness. And like Chris has his Byzantine spam, and like MBL's good under pressure. And
MBL,
you know, it's just kind of...
MBL just does different things all the time, you know?
Exactly.
So.
And that's his thing. That's what makes him good, you know? And that's why I love watching these top players. And like you said, Stark is greedy. He's very, very greedy, but it's paying off for him currently.
It's paying off for him in Vills. But if Fire's gonna snatch these relics, if Fire's gonna use his map control to get good, you can see this Eagle Warrior. Like, I really want to stress that Fire is recognizing that this is gonna be kind of a boom fest. He's probably... Oh, he's pushing forward with villagers now as well. What? I was not expecting this.
Ooh, Stark's gonna see this, though. He's gonna assume that there's more than those two going forward. He'll monks out from Fire if he gets good conversion RNG.
Nothing there. And now, you see the scout from Stark? He's sending the scout out. He's thinking, okay, I can throw this away.
He actually made that scout just for the monks. Clever.
Huh. Well,
gonna die, though.
Yeah, it's gonna die. Just, what is Fire's plan? That's the weird thing. The Siege Workshop, okay. Well, I was just gonna stress how Fire is focusing on the map control and how he was maybe gonna get the relics, but I think he's sending most of this forward to apply pressure.
You go Siege Workshop of your own if you're Stark. Do you go into like Scorpions? I've seen it done before. And he's gonna deny the Siege Workshop from Fire. That's huge. That's really
unbelievable.
Big.
He just came in here, sniped the Vills, and is running away and might be able to kill the monks now as well. No, Stark. He's gonna kill him, right?
Got him.
That's huge, man. That is absolutely huge.
He's denying that blacksmith from going down. You see, Fire actually got arson.
Yeah.
To take the building sound, put some pressure on there, and the villager difference is now about 10.
It's tough because there's Tycoon in here, Dave. I feel like maybe I don't know. He just needs more knight numbers. The Siege Workshop wouldn't save him if the Eagles got in close. He's trying to mass the knights. He's building more stables. The question is, has Stark been too greedy here as he's losing villagers left and right underneath his town centers? And also, is Fire committing too much here? Because once he loses his army, there's going to be a lot of Magyar Knights. That's the other question.
He's sending more villagers forward too for that Siege Workshop. It's going to go up. He lost a lot of army there, but Stark has a lot of idle time.
Yeah, so stronger economy now for sure for Fire. He is untouched at home. He has 6 more villagers. But does he have the army numbers now? He only has 2 monks and 4 Eagle Warriors forward and a siege workshop. Can't help but feel that Stark would clean all of that up.
Like, at this point, after an engagement like that, do you keep the pressure on if you're Fire? He's going to, but do you keep it on, or do you opt to stay in your nice, secure base?
I
boom up to Imp.
Maybe it's different because there's no wall mods, and maybe it's different because Fire's playing versus Stark and he knows Stark's style, but I don't necessarily agree with this push from Fire. I feel like that amount of damage could have been done without the forward siege workshop and forward builds, and then Fire would be closer to Imp now, and he could go up, but it looks like he wants to push the engagement now with a few monks for conversions, and some pikemen in the mix as well with the forward barracks, so this is going to be something a little bit different than I expected here.
He can range that monk with the TC? Oh god. Free monk pick with the TC.
Yep. The scout's coming out here to pick off the monk. Wise move from Stark. Just a 3-shot on the monk, and now the knights should patrol in versus the Eagle Warriors. Now, there's no +2 defense for Stark, but he has all that hefty attack upgrades. I think if Stark runs away now, maybe he doesn't run away now. He's gonna kill this.
He just kills all of the units and all the mangonels, and then all that res is wasted from Fire, because Stark was gonna make those knights anyway.
Yeah. Wow. The Fire is closing in on him with his resources, but I don't agree with it either, Dave. And now he has the forward pikemen. The forward pikemen aren't gonna offer him anything because they have to run back home. And sure, Fire is pretty much full walled here. But what does he have to protect himself? And what does he have to stop Stark from booming out across the map, getting those relics and getting those extra golds? Not a lot.
Stark also knows about that secondary gold up at the top, and that's right where he's going.
Wow. Immediately going to that gold.
Yeah.
Great thinking.
Yep.
Those Eagles from Fire, though, were there for that reason.
Yep.
He knew that if he lost those Eagle Warriors, that trouble was on the horizon, and luckily he's going to keep these villagers alive and maybe can send his pikemen over to force those knights away.
And he's on the way to Imp. What does Fire have in this forward siege workshop? Does he have another mangonel? Yeah, he's making an outpost to see what's going on in Stark's base. I don't know if he can really do much with this forward.
Let's see how this is going to go here. That's a lot of pikemen, full defense upgrades. And knights are still so strong for Magros, of course. But there's a lot of weak knights here. And I don't know how I feel about that if I'm Stark.
Do you think for Imp, if you're Stark, do you switch into Cav Archers?
I think his main problem is he's not close to Imp right now. He's
true.
creating a lot of knights. I thought he was going to be close to Imp. Oh, he's researching man-at-arms? So he's going to keep this in castle, maybe. He's building more barracks.
Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go. Longswords are good. Longswords are good even against, like, elite eagles. They're still decent against them.
Wow. This is going to be a pretty sick finish to this game. Stark has the resources to create a lot of longswords, and you have to imagine Fire is expecting the Cavalier switch and the fast uptime from Stark after that long boom.
And Stark has enough farms that even if he idles for just a second, like, he should be able to click up soon. Though I don't know if he has the Castle Age buildings, though. No, he does not.
Well, my thought process is he's probably not going to go up to Imp. What'd you see? Sorry.
2 mangonels for free. Picked off by Stark. That's really, really good, because now, like, without Siege, just pikemen aren't going to be able to push him that much early in Imperial.
I don't think Stark's going up to Imp anytime soon. I think that he is intentionally going to fight this in Castle Age. Because he wouldn't get these upgrades now. He would get them on the way up to Imp. So I think he wants to fight this one now, and he wants to catch Fire off guard. The struggle is... Well, I don't know if there's a huge struggle with this. It depends on what Fire does, but Fire might need to transition into infantry himself. That's not pikemen or eagles and go into champions, maybe.
Gonna see it now, and he's getting capped ram. It's a good upgrade. I mean, it really just supports your army. You need something to destroy the buildings. It's also making another siege workshop forward.
I would still prefer to be in Fire's position right now. Look at the Eagle Warriors at the top of Stark's base. Just needs to send a few Eagle Warriors into the economy. Stark might have longswords that might be a good counter, but only in a straight up fight, and Fire knows that splitting up his Eagle Warriors and hitting different parts of the economy. And now Stark is stuck in castle. He has to fight this in castle. And it seems like he's on the back foot. Stark
he just can't produce.
A huge fight, but he doesn't have the numbers. I like the idea, but even though it was unconvincing from Fire, he just stopped those knights from snowballing. And Magyars can really only go knights or cavalry archers in the castle age. They can try longswords, as you're seeing here, but I think that Stark's taking too big a hit to his economy. 30 idle villagers, losing villagers, less villagers in Fire, and Fire's already in the Imperial Age. It's got to be just a matter of time now, I think.
He's actually, well, if he can fight, if he can push the Eagles back long enough. Like, once he gets a mass of longswords, it's possible.
Yeah.
But he just has to get that mass, and right now they're being killed every time they come out of a building.
Yeah, Fire's doing a great job of focusing them down. He has the battering ram now. He's going to just go after the TC. More Eagle Warriors coming in time and time again versus the villagers. And it's going to get to the point where Stark doesn't have the food to create longswords. He's at 24 food, 45 food. I don't think he has the res for this stage. Like, he's going to try and repair, but the Fire can just
He's making a market, man. He's making a market. Let's go!
I don't think the market's going to save him, though. The TC will drop. He built the market up there, yeah.
Buying that food.
He's got to be dead now. He's got to be dead. Doesn't matter what the counter is if you have all these numbers. The Fire has 150 population, sub 80 population for Stark, and Stark calling the GG there.
Well played. I think Fire made a mistake there in castle to push as much as he did, but he was just in such a better position at that time that as soon as he got to Imp with that secure base, his good eco, just flood the Eagles, raid the economy, and way more production than Stark had.
Fire pretty much had the advantage since the Man-at-Arms rush, right? Because he forced his opponent to repair that stable for God knows how long. It was probably 250, 300 wood cost just to repair that. Then he had the time with that map control to secure his base at home with no wall mod and still house walling it. Plus, Aztecs, in my opinion, have a much stronger economy too. So while it was kind of unconvincing from Fire, I was very impressed with his spam and Imp. That was pretty cool.
That was a good performance. It was a good game too. I think like Magyars are gonna lose if you don't find the sheep early, like as many sheep as Fire did, and you get your boar stolen.
Good point.
They're gonna lose 9 times out of 10 in that Civ matchup.
And the other thing we don't see is the amount of idle time. So you look at the amount of economy collected now for Fire versus Stark. Fire has a lot more resources, and that's just because there was nothing at his base that entire game. All right, well, let's keep it moving along, guys. It is 3-1 now. Yes. Keep it moving right along. Game 5. Oh my gosh, I'm